Oh, yeah.
Kpop Demon Hunters is still the most popular and most requested and most watched show on Netflix. It is still making the rounds of the talk since June, July. Wow, it's been a few months. Holy crap. And Korea just recently had its 30th Busan International Film Festival that is happening from the 17th to 26th. Ongoing still until the 26th. So they had the director for the show, Maggie Kang, actually talking about how she worked on Kpop Demon Hunters, the work behind it and all that. And surprise, surprise, her biggest influences behind the show is from director Bong Joon-ho. This is according to the Korean Times, which I will share right now here. Yeah, there we go. That's where I'm at. Yep, okay. So Maggie Kang credits Bong Joon-ho as the biggest influence behind Kpop Demon Hunters. So according to the Korea Times, Bong, according to her, she said, to quote the paper itself, Bong has had the greatest impact on me as a filmmaker. When I watched his film, The Host, I realized for the first time that a single film could make so many tones and genres. That discovery shaped how I approached my own movie, which blends musical, romance, comedy, horror, and action. According to her, my dad was the biggest cinephile than I was. Seeing it together on Christmas made it even more memorable. Among Bong's films, I like Memories of Murder the most. Let's see. Maggie Kang also kept on in the interview. After working in Hollywood for more than a decade, one of my goals was to contribute to a film that reflected Korean culture. But that kind of project rarely existed. When Korean music, movies, and dramas started gaining global attention, I knew the timing was right. The idea began with shamans, grim reapers, goblins, and water spirits. Things I wanted to see on screen. K-pop was added later, and that combination became Demon Hunters. Alright, that made a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Yep. Maggie Kang also said that Golden was her favorite track, which is basically the top track from the show that has been in the Billboard charts for, I think, the top 5 or top 1 or 2, or at least top 5 at the very, or top 3 for the past few weeks or so since the song's debut from the movie itself. And she added to also mention why it was her favorite song. It wasn't just about making a good song. I wanted the music to reflect the characters and the story. And Maggie Kang also said when she also expected, of course she is touched by all the reception, all that, but most importantly from the younger viewers. To quote, when parents tell me their daughters identify with the female characters, that makes me happy. In a way, we created someone's Sailor Moon, someone's Little Mermaid, someone's Disney Princess. These are characters children can grow up with and call their own. I definitely agree, considering that Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, they are, this year's top characters in terms of like badass females who sing and who have also their own vulnerable side. They're not perfect characters, but they are characters we care about and flesh out. That's what I like about the show. It's not portraying them as super untouchable. They have their vulnerabilities, which is great. That's what makes good characterizations and whatnot. You don't want a completely perfect character you cannot relate to. So it's good that Maggie Kang is doing this not for her debut film, but hopefully for future films, not just Kpop Demon Hunters. Hopefully she still stays in the animation realm. If she still wants to do live action, that's great too, but if she wants to stick with Sony Pictures or any other animation studio to tell her Korean stylized or Korean culture influenced movies, by all means go ahead. Just make it awesome, entertaining, colorful, and a feast for the eyes. TV series also acceptable, but movies are definitely the way to go, especially for a culture, a medium that requires, I think the medium requires more eye-catching and original animated series. You can't just be dominated by Disney and Pixar, or DreamWorks for that matter. Let's see, she also addresses concerns about portraying K-pop idols. I didn't personally know idols or hear their stories firsthand, so I was careful, but I believe the themes will resonate universally. Everyone has a side they show on social media and another they hide. Idols are no different in that respect. And she closed up the interview with, embrace your individuality and don't be afraid. Let me repeat that again. Embrace your individuality and do not be afraid. I was terrified making this film, constantly wondering if people would like it or if I was going in the right direction. It took time to overcome those doubts. It's okay to feel fear, but push through it, find confidence, and be unafraid to be different. Truer awesome words right there. Really, really good stuff. A really good interview. I'll put the link on the description of the video so you can actually take a look at everything. Really, really good insight to who actually influenced Maggie Kang and what she's saying in the film festival itself, because these are the kind of shows you want to attend so you can actually capture, hear and see the insight from these directors and your thought process. Hopefully you come across, I mean, yes, you're gonna find people who don't really bear much, but for people who are, they stick to a script and it sounds as genuine as possible, yeah, you could do worse. You could do worse. I mean, it's also good to hear that Maggie Kang is, gonna keep at it with the directing of animated shows and whatnot, to keep on trucking and whatnot. Yeah, so really good stuff right there. If you want more Kpop Demon Hunters news and quips and whatnot, and also video games and anime, yeah, do come and subscribe to Kakucho Parade. And that's it for this segment. See ya.